I'm Ryan,
Jim. Hey,
and we are the.
Disney Movie Club.
Today we're talking about the movie So Close to My Heart.
So close to my brain.
So Close to My Heart. All right, this is a very rare movie. I kind of looked on the internet that a lot of people who are trying to watch all the Disney movies um, are having a lot of issues trying to watch this movie. So there's kind of been like a movement to try to get this movie on Disney Plus, but for whatever reason they haven't put it on Disney Plus. And I was in the last couple movies that were not on Disney Plus, I was able to
Comments. Um, you can watch the movie because we.
maybe I'll share the link. So,
Yeah.
like I was saying, I was able to find some of the other ones on YouTube, but this one I just kind of just did a quick search and I was able to find this website called Internet Archive, and we were able to watch So Close to My Heart. All right, So Close to My Heart. It's a movie. It's one of Walt Disney's favorite movies because he said that this was kind of like it reminded him of his childhood.
That
You're gonna say something?
forgot the picture.
Oh, okay, so I'll share
Mm.
the picture of So Close to My Heart. So this movie tells the story of Jeremiah and his love of his sheep. So there is a little bit of animation.
Jeremiah is the voice of Peter Pan.
Yes, so these two kid actors were in um, Song of the South, they were in Melody Time, and now they're in So Dear to My Heart. Yep. So Jeremiah um, raises a black sheep and encounters many obstacles. His grandma uh, kind of doesn't want him to have the sheep, but Jeremiah is persistent and he keeps kind of going through every obstacle. Archie, you were going to share about the animation in this movie, right? So what were you going to say about it?
His imagination, the spider said, "Don't give up."
Yeah, so there was a song called Stick to It, and yes, it kind of there was a problem that Jeremiah would encounter, and that owl and the lamb um, would sing a song, and he would kind of think of what to do to kind of overcome the obstacle. So um, at first, the first song was kind of talking about how his grandma didn't want him to have the song or want him to have the sheep,
Yeah.
and then he was able to kind of uh, convince his grandma to keep the sheep, and then uh, Jeremiah wanted to take the sheep to a fair, but Jeremiah's grandma said that he wasn't. He would have to pay his own ticket, and he was kind of giving up on that because he didn't think he'd be able to figure out how to raise money to get a train ticket to the fair. But then, what does he figure out to do, June?
He So one of the workers I will get the money that if
Yep.
you
So
get
he first started picking apples, and he wasn't making very much money. But then the worker at the store said, "What?"
if you get a bee tree that has a lot of honey in it, you'll get $27.
Yep. So if he found a tree with that had a huge beehive and lots of honey, he would make a lot of money. So what did he do to find that tree with the big beehive or with
He went
the
into the forest and he told his uncle.
yep, and he just followed the bee, right?
Mm,
And June drew a little picture of that scene. Yep. So he raised money and then he was able to bring the Danny the sheep to the fair, and the sheep didn't win the grand prize, right? But yep,
the
sure.
sheep got the even bigger prize.
Yep. So the judge was impressed with uh, just Jeremiah's stick to it witness and how he kind of like was able to get himself to the fair. So he got a special award for all of his persistence and getting the sheep to the fair.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say about the movie, Archie?
Yeah. Maybe Owl said, put your chin up.
Put your chin up, don't give up. If so, the boy, he kind of had a lot of obstacles, but he just kind of kept with it and stuck with it.
At Disneyland, I think there's a place where you can collect honey.
That'd be kind of cool. Like you're just walking by and you kind of like see a tree and it has a huge beehive and lots of honey, and that's just kind of like a head nod to this movie.
From this movie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, I think maybe just kind of like maybe somewhere in one of the regions. I don't know. Maybe like Frontierland. Maybe there could just be like a picture of the sheep or something. I don't really know that this movie warrants having a ride. Yeah, and one other thing that I kind of liked about this movie is, like we said, those two kid actors have been in some of the movies recently, and that boy is going to be the voice of Peter Pan. And then there was two other famous actors. Burl Ives was his uncle, and Burl Ives,
It's the voice of the snowman and Rudolph.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
But when he was singing a song, we kind of recognize his voice, right?
Yeah, and that's what he looks like in that movie.
Yep, we didn't really know what he looked like, but yep, we saw him. And then there was his grandma is an actress from one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
The bad guy in the movie.
well, yeah, but she was the mom in It's a Wonderful Life, so I thought that was kind of cool. And then I guess there's this other famous actor who was the judge at the fair, and he actually died before the movie came out, so it was his last movie. His name was Harry Carey, which has no relation to another Harry Carey that people might know of, who used to call the Cubs games, but I guess he was a famous actor. So, what would you give this out of 1 to 10, June?
I'll give it a 8
8. Okay, and why do you say that?
because it's cool and it's curious and it's a rare movie.
Okay, 8 out of 10. All right, what would you give it, Archie?
I'll give it 9
A 9, and why do you say that?
because I liked
Nope.
it.
Because why?
I liked it.
Okay, I'd probably give it maybe a 6.5. I did like the movie. I was glad I was watching it. When I started the movie, I was like, oh, this is going to be boring. But actually, I really like the message of kind of setting goals and sticking to them. And I also kind of in doing research, thought it was pretty cool that we were able to watch a movie that not a lot of Disney fans have watched before.
Yeah.
Archie, you said that you wanted to share an idea that you have with Disneyland.
I I think there should be a place where you can buy sheeps.
Buy sheets.
It's
Okay.
not
Well,
bad.
all right. Well, that's his idea. Okay. So that is so close to my heart. So the next movie we have is
Mr.
the,
Toad.
the Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. So we will see you on that one.
But that's one of the classic cats. Make sure to like that star and subscribe.